February 3rd, 2026, 5:03 p.m. And please call the roll.
Alderman Barrero.
Here.
Alderwoman Garza.
Here.
Alderman Masiacos.
Present.
Alderman Nunez.
Here.
Alderman Franco.
Here.
Alderman Seville.
Here.
Alderman Benuelos.
Here.
Alderwoman Smith.
Here.
Alderman Bug.
Here.
Alderwoman Bade. Alderman Larson.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Mayor Lash is absent.
Okay. We have the approval of the minutes.
Second.
26-0048, approval of the minutes from Tuesday, January 20, 2026. Committee of the whole meeting has been moved by Alderwoman Smith, second by Alderwoman Garza. Any corrections, additions, or deletions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. What do we, 11? Yeah, 11 to nothing, right? Okay. We have the mayor's report. Tony Martinez is here.
So good evening, Tony Martinez, Chief Communication Marketing Officer. Hope you guys are having a swell evening. So in our mayor's report today, wanted to recap us some of the efforts of the communications department for 2025 and share some numbers with you. So I've shared with you a couple of sheets there. First, I'll kind of go over the communications recap and then go into 311 very quickly. So I can see as a communications recap, as we were trying to do as a department, trying to reach residents where they're at. Giving a recap of our social media efforts throughout 2025 and you get in comparison to 2024. So 2025 was the second year of the department, really, the full year that we were, fully staffed there. So as you can see, going down our social media numbers, the gains in post-publish and engagement and reach from all of our social media channels. They're beginning with Facebook. You see the increase in reach and followers. You'll see a decrease in posts published. That's, as we continue to tailor our communication efforts. Really, it's not the amount of times we post, but, the content, the quality of the posts, and trying to get engagement and clicks and new followers to our social media channels. Instagram, saw some big gains there. We're trying to utilize really with our video team, utilizing short videos to highlight the things going on throughout the city. One really important one was our first year, 2025, with our Nextdoor app. So really trying to publish as much as we can on Nextdoor. We've seen a lot of benefit, a lot of engagement from residents and neighborhood groups through Nextdoor. The great thing with Nextdoor is we can actually target different neighborhood groups and different wards. So based on specific things going on throughout the city, we can specifically target those groups to communicate to them through Nextdoor. You see YouTube, Twitter, which is X, and then on your second page, if you turn it over, we have LinkedIn followers. So you'll see, based on our competitors around the area, we gained more followers than any other municipality throughout the state, except City of Chicago's not on here. Obviously, they're the big one, but everyone else, we've topped that, and our total post engagements there, has really leaps and bounds above all of our competition surrounding municipalities, including counties, which are much larger than in our city. We have Twitch there, which, we use Twitch. If you're not familiar with Twitch, it's really kind of a gaming streaming software platform, but we've seen some engagement and followers there with our city council meetings, and we also stream all of our ACTV content on Twitch. And then our YouTube channel. So ACTV, we launched the first YouTube channel for ACTV last year. So we have the city and ACTV, and YouTube is where we publish a lot of our programming that happens on the fifth floor studio, which is a little bit longer format so viewers can watch. And then last but not least, our media relations throughout the year. Last year we had 587 media mentions that were tracked in the software that we do have, with a total media cover value of media coverage of just shy of $400 million. Basically, what that means, if if we didn't have the media mentions and media following and presence that we do have, it would cost $400 million to purchase those ads or that media time on TV and likewise. So, really, all of this is a culmination of the efforts of our communications team, a marketing team, a video production team, as we put things together to try to engage the community throughout the year. If you look at our 301, the Meyer War 301 kind of recap for 2025, 301 launched on March 11th of last year, and you could see the amount of calls have increased over time. So in 2025, we had almost 80,000 inbound calls. The average is to around 325 calls per day. The average wait time is 20 seconds, and compared to, that's actually more than half, less than half of what it used to be before we launched 301. So even with the increased call volume, the average wait time decreased by more than half. So it was a little bit over 40 seconds before we launched 301. Now we're looking at around 20 seconds for each call. And then the request submitted. So the request submitted through the software, so that's basically a request is when a resident calls, our call representatives pick up the phone, and if there's an issue, then they create a request, or they create a case in our software, our 301 software. In 2025, over 18,000 requests were generated in the system and were closed out. So the time to respond is in days there. So once the case is created, it takes about a day or so for the other departments to kind of address that case and close that case out when those issues or concerns are rectified out in the field. Any questions on that before I move on? Okay.
I'm sorry, any questions to Tony from the council? No. Okay.
So as we move forward, we're looking at several events that are happening. One of the events I wanted to highlight really quickly is happening this Friday at 6 p.m. in Aurora Public Art. So in partnership with Alderman at Large Will White, Alderman Edward Bugg, and Community Advocacy Awareness Network Director Mary Faltz will host a meet and greet with Negro League Baseball star Dennis Biddle to kick off Black History Month. So on display will be the Traveling Negro League Museum. It'll feature memorabilia, autographed baseballs. Mr. Biddle will be there, signing autographs, taking pictures. And it'd be great to have him there and really highlight the contributions that he's made, to history and the Negro League. And he is also recognized from Congress as being the youngest player in the Negro League. So now he really spends his time traveling, the United States to educating students, college students, military bases on, the historic significance of the Negro League. So really excited for this event on Friday. So if you have time, please make sure to take some time to visit Public Art and visit the display and Dennis Biddle. Last but not least, wanted to announce the deadline's approaching for the annual Cowherd Scholarship. So the African American Advisory Board is having their Heritage Dinner later this month on the 27th. But if you are a college-bound student and need some extra funds, make sure to apply for the Cowherd Scholarship. The deadline is February 10th. So make sure to visit our website for the scholarship info and for the event info for the Heritage Dinner later this month. So without further ado, the second part of the presentation, we have our Asian American, Native, Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Advisory Board update. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Ralph Yamamoto to give a presentation.
Welcome, Ralph.
Thank you. Okay, good evening, City Council members, and thank you for allowing us to share some of our strategic initiatives to you. My name is Ralph Yamamoto, and I'm the chairman of the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Advisory Board to the Mayor. And what we've done is prepared for you a slide presentation on PowerPoint. If I can get this thing to work, Tony, help. Show our strategic initiatives here for your reference. Okay, here we go. All right, so Next slide. This is the second slide here. Okay, I hope you can see that. The second slide really shows our mission, our value, and our vision statements. I won't go into the mission statements because that's taken directly from the website. It's stated on the City of Aurora website. So I do want to go into the value and our vision just a little bit. Our value statements are as follows. We value our Asian family, our heritage, our culture. We display acts of compassion and kindness, and we serve the Asian communities with respect, humility, authenticity, and gratitude. Our vision, which evolves across time, is currently to make the City of Aurora the central hub serving Chicagoland's Asian communities. Now, the question really is how do we do that? That's not an easy task, but what I'm showing here in this slide is how we are executing our strategic initiatives. This is an iterative process, okay? And the idea behind this was borrowed from what is known as the scientific methodology. And here it's reclaimed as fit for AANHPI purpose. So starting at the top, which is essentially 12 o'clock, this is basically conceptual thinking. It's theming. It's asking the correct questions. And then at 3 o'clock, we're saying to execute efficiently requires building a cultural framework that's based on personalities that are ego-free and built in with implicit trust. At 6 o'clock here, we design and execute programs through boots on the ground, which means we go into the community. And I'll show some examples later on in the slide deck. And we also use demographic and database information. So this data then is collected, it's analyzed, it's evaluated, but as you can see, the whole purpose of this group is really data-driven. It's not an anecdotal process where we take ideas and stories from the community. Part of it is, but part of it we have to be grounded in data. So this takes us to the fourth piece, which is a refinement and a reformulation of ideas. And then we wash, we rinse, and then we repeat. Okay, so this is an evolving process. Now, initially, when we first started off, this began with one-on-one discussions with each board member. And it became abundantly clear that the operational framework leading to subsequent work streams would be focused on 5 main areas. And those 5 main areas are business to business, which equates to economic development, education, social programming, which includes board-to-board communication. And finally, the linchpins to this whole program is ad hoc events and marketing and communication. These are the linchpins because the program is in need for us to make sure we carry out our message to the community with clarity and without ambiguity. The next slide really shows the timeline and the milestones that we've achieved over the year. Now, I want to make this part clear because this is a new board. We started in April 2025, so we've been together approximately 8 months. And in that time, as you can see on the timeline, the advisory board was formed, the officers were elected, the mission and vision and value statements were concretized. We implemented a 100-day plan, and this is basically the 5 committees that I just described, and the work stream in those areas ensued. Now in September, the AANHPI participated in a very large Mid-Autumn Festival held at Pacific Square. During that time, we surveyed 153 guests, and we collected their responses. Now, anecdotally, Aurora residents, or non-Aurora residents, I should say, felt that they really didn't know how to answer the question, what do you see as the community needs? And so we said, okay, well, you don't have to answer it, but of the 153 responses that did come to us, we believe were from Aurora residents. We couldn't confirm that, but at least we have an idea of what we're doing and where to go. So we believe that at that point in time, this survey reflected the Aurora opinions. Now, the survey information allowed us to refine our initial thinking. This is basically the whole idea of the iterative circle. And this allowed the board to reformulate a 5-step plan, as you'll see in the next slide. The survey reports then were shared with Mayor Lesh, Alderwoman Bade, and the Deputy Chief, Richard Thompson. In our opinion, this completed our first 100-day plan. This is what we strove to achieve. We wanted to get the information out. We wanted to make sure that we had exposure, not only to the city council and the mayor, but to the community. And from this point on, the vision, our vision, your vision, became a bit more clear. And so we started to add on to the program. We implemented a volunteer program, board recruitment was initiated, and in 2026, collaborators from the community were identified through two major means. One is face-to-face. In other words, we held meetings where we had major discussions on what these collaborators, and you'll see who they are in the next slide, what we agreed upon were potential community needs and how we can approach that. Now, all of this will culminate, at least this part, will culminate in 2026. And that will be held at this February 11th networking event in Pacific Square. This will bring all of the collaborators together under one roof. It'll be a networking event not for the board to meet, not just for the board to meet with the collaborators, but for the collaborators to meet with themselves. And from that point on, we will create the next level of planning and staging for the AANHPI. The Lunar New Year is a celebration for Asian, and it will be incorporated into this networking event as well. So if you go to the next slide here, this is the results of the 153 survey responses. And what you can see is that several emerging themes start to take place. These include small business support, education, culture, public safety, senior resourcing, and language barriers. As a group, there's certain things that we can attack, not all of them. It's not within sort of our domain. But of those that we can, we were very pleased to see significant overlaps between our programs and what the community was requesting. That meant we're on the right track. It's not like we were hallucinating, so to speak. From the 153 surveys, as you see up in the top left corner, this is the cover slide for the responses that was submitted to the mayor. But built into this, we created, as I mentioned, a 5-step roadmap. And this was to connect with external and social relevant programs, empower small business and entrepreneurship, improve access to information and resources, deepen community engagement and visibility, and finally, immediate outreach and relationship building. So as I mentioned, we started to identify those collaborators that would have a significant impact into the community, which means these are the heavyweight players for Asian American services. And we casted a very wide net. And so as you can see in the blue panel, these are a list of our current collaborators. You can see it's basically built into business, it's built into education, and it's built into social programmings. And I mentioned that these individuals have all agreed to be speakers at the networking event on February 11th. So we'll have them all under one roof. And from here, we'll build the next set of initiatives that will basically carry us through the rest of 2026. So this demonstrates that we are committed to our vision. We're executing this through bringing all the collaborators into Aurora, bringing them to us. And you're all invited, of course, so if you have the time, stop by. It'll be a lot of fun. Some key takeaways from our 8 months of existence are such that the API board structure was created, its vision was executed. The 2025 100-day initiative plan was executed and completed, and 2026 initiative started, and we are progressing with that. We will continue to identify the needs. We'll do our best to gap fill, build those types of supportive collaborations that we feel will benefit the community, and spread our vision and our messages. Lastly, from the U.S. Census Bureau, there are 20,000 Asians in Aurora. And we look forward to finding ways to reach out to as many of them as we can. This doesn't end here. The programs that you've seen so far are what we've created to this date. That doesn't mean that downstream we haven't thought about our plans that would actually be highly impactful. I'll give you an example here. What's not shown here is healthcare. Healthcare is a severe example or an extreme example of what we would like to actually move towards. What we had found from the U.S. Database, public health database, is that there's a significant percentage of Asians who do not have health insurance. Basically, I'm writing a proposal to go to the board and ask for their comments as we look for reasons for why a certain percentage, I think 3-4%, somewhere in there, do not have health insurance. Is it a language barrier? Is it a lack of information? Is it affordability? Most important, how can AANHPI in the city of Aurora gap fill this unmet medical need? This is very important to us. It's near and dear to our heart. As you know, the way the political climate is, this is something that's really critical for us. Now, before I close, this is really the most important slide in the deck. It is showing all of the members of the board. And I'd like to introduce those that are actually sitting in the audience right now so you get an idea to match the face, the names. Chris Liu, Linda White, Abby Kemp, Judy Nee, Jasmine Nee. Now, every team has a most valuable player. We've identified, at least I've identified, who that most valuable player is. It's our staff liaison. It's Amy Monroe. Truly, we would have not been able to make it this far without her support. There's a co-MVP sitting in the audience. That's Nicholas Richard Thomas. Hopefully he's here.
It's over here.
All right. Take your bow, Nick. So lastly, I really hope you share in our excitement. You share in our vision. This is what we will be doing in 2026. I will be back here in another 2 or 3 months to give you another status update report because I think following this network event and all the other activities that we have planned for you, I hope you will find that just as cool as we do. All right? So thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. And I thank all the board members out here for doing such a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Any questions of the City Council of Ralph? Okay, thank you. Tony, you have anything more to say? We're good?
All
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public wishing to give public comment this evening?
We do.
Can you please read our rules for public comment?
Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, all persons shall be permitted an opportunity to address public officials under the rules established and recorded by the council. Under our rules, any person may address the committee of the whole for up to 3 minutes with a maximum of 30 minutes allotted for all public comment. No person other than the timekeeper or the chair for the purpose of maintaining order may interrupt a person recognized for public comment during his or her comments. Members of the committee of the whole shall not engage with nor respond to a speaker during the time set aside for public comment. Staff is directed to follow up with members of the public with respect to any concerns raised during public comment within the scope of the city's authority following the adjournment of this meeting.
Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please read the name of the first person to offer public comment this evening?
Manuel Fernando Cardoza.
Good evening, Manuel. You have 3 minutes beginning now.
Here we go. Sitting honorable members, I come to state my mind to all of you. As you are aware, the city council is limited to a direct connection with the people. Though a day like Saturday morning would be a suitable time and day for the people to attend, the city is hindered by it in paying for employees and budget cuts. Wouldn't it be a great thing if something similar to the city council was there in the air for the people? Something as in a civilian council. A civilian council would be made up of common people. There'll be a way for the people to come together and talk, say like on a Saturday morning when people are more than likely available compared to a Tuesday night. It would function outside City Hall since the civilian council would not be connected to the city at all. It will be an unofficial council, which goal is to unite and which goal is to unite, support, and empower the people of Aurora. Go door to door on the east side of Aurora as a start. Tell the people, for example, if they want chance at property taxes to possibly lower, support the civilian council. If they want to protest against ICE, support the city council, etc. The council would be a non-bipartisan type council, no support for Republicans or Democrats. For they seek division, choosing sides instead of unifying compromise to ensure everyone is happy. With unified Aurora, we can ensure that no Republican or Democrat can ever come to power in the City of Lights by outvoting, so that the needs, wants, and desires of the people are met rather than the needs, wants, and desires of one's political affiliation or political party. I shall mention why I stated something similar to the City Council was there in the air. When I said air, it meant that it exists in the air. Since it won't be tied down like City Council would be, it would be very mobile. It only exists when a meeting happens or when it's talked about. After that, it doesn't exist, but lingers in the air. Kind of like a group club, but on a larger scale. I'm well aware the city would probably never try this since it would not be a part of them. So I figure something like that could be started when spring comes. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, will you please read the name of the next person willing to give public comment?
Sun Knight? Sun Knight?
Good evening, Sanai. You have 3 minutes beginning now.
Okay. It is a serious problem when apartment complexes without a heat during an extreme cold. 1630 West Plum Street is a high-rise complex. It is a public housing. It is operated by Aurora Housing Authorities. They have administration site there. The residents are complaining there is no heat in the apartment units, but there is a heat on the hallway on the community room. People don't take a shower on the hallway. The apartment has to have a heat. Under Illinois law, residential property must provide adequate heat from October 1st through May 31st. Why are they living without a heat in their apartments? I'm not talking about the hallway or the community room. They say there's no heat inside the apartment. No heat could cause death. It's unlivable condition. The apartment must be at least 68 degrees during the day and 66 at night. That is the law. The Aurora Housing Authority must legally provide heat to the residents. This is an apartment complex that is receiving federal funding. The building's supposed to be in a living condition. That's why they are receiving their federal funding. If there is no heat inside the apartment, but there is a heat in the hallway, it's supposed to be a living condition, and they get their money from the federal government. So the residents who live in that building are supposed to buy their own heaters. They don't have a heat in the middle of the winter. Tenants should not have to use oven or stove for a heat. That's not how it's supposed to be. Why are tenants paying rent without a heat? They could withhold their rent money. This is a federal funded building. They get Section 8 rental assistance. They house the elderly and the disabled person. Is the administration part of the building has a heat, or the employees are working without a heat in the middle of the winter? If it is federally funded building, why is the elderly, the disabled, individual, and families in need are without a heat? Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, will you please read the name of the next person willing to give public comment this evening?
Rick Lawrence?
Mr. Lawrence? Good evening. You have 3
Hey,
minutes
how are you?
beginning now.
On January 18th, Jerry Seinfeld came to the Paramount. Arguably very successful, known all over the world, and he chose to come to Aurora. Well, we had a bunch of idiots, wingnuts, on the sidewalk, yelling at people trying to attend this event. Then a couple of these wingnuts go inside and disrupt it. Alderman Larson, you were one of these people there. Chief of Staff's husband was there, which means she supports it. The mayor supported this action. Now, you have every right to be an idiot. You have every right to protest a pine tree or whatever you protest next. But you know what you don't have a right to do as an employee of the taxpayers of Aurora? Destroy the businesses that they're funding. The taxpayers of the Aurora give the Paramount millions of dollars. And you, Alderman Larson, and Mr. Shannon, and the mayor, take it upon yourself to try to destroy that business. Why would any other act come to Aurora? Why? Because if Alderman Larson doesn't like you, we're going to scream and yell at you. We're going to scream and yell at the people coming in because our protest next is right and everyone else is wrong. Jerry Seinfeld is a Jew who supports Israel. I support Israel. I'm not a Jew. If he wasn't Jewish, you guys wouldn't have acted like that. And I know you claim your thing too. You have nothing going on in this city. You have no economic development going on. You all say that the Paramount is the most important thing. You have an alderman sitting here, a chief of staff's husband sitting there, a mayor up, not you, Mike, a mayor up there supporting the destruction of the Paramount by these protests. Now, do you think Jerry Seinfeld's agent is going to tell everyone, oh yeah, you should go to Aurora, they're a great place? You think that they just don't know people? So what, we're just going to have Greenpeace at the Paramount? Is that your plan there, Alderman Larson? Have you ever done anything in your life? Have you ever been successful in anything? Except acting like a moron in the middle of a sidewalk, yelling at people that are trying to enjoy their evening, coming to Aurora. You just make it that people look at it and go, forget Aurora. You know, maybe you should spend a little more time fixing up your neighborhoods. Maybe the chief of staff's husband should fix up her own yard because they're pigs. You know, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Madam Clerk, will you please read the name of the next person willing to give public comment?
That was the final speaker.
Okay, thank you. With that, then, we will move to the reports of the committees. The BZ&E committee meeting, I will give the report. The BZ&E committee met January 28, 2026, and reviewed the following items. 25-1044, an ordinance vacating a parking easement on the property located at 580 Exchange Court and 560 Exchange Court in DuPage County, Aurora, Illinois, 60504. This is the food pantry that we're all familiar with out there. They're asking for two things, a setback variance and to consolidate two lots into one.
Consent.
Consent, okay, this item will go on to consent. The next two are resolutions, 25-1043, which has to do with the food pantry, a resolution approving revision to the final plat for Meridian 7 subdivision located at 580 Exchange Court and 560 Exchange Court, and establishing Loaves and Fishes subdivision. If there's no appeal by tomorrow at 5 o'clock, this will not be needing to be voted on by the City Council. Is that acceptable?
Consent.
Okay. And then 26-0041, a resolution approving the final plan of subdivision for Washington Middle School subdivision located at 231 South Constitution Drive and 233 South Constitution Drive. This is the Washington Middle School and the Foxway Park District and the athletic fields and the library. And they just need to do a rearranging of things there. So, and again, if there's no appeal, this will be okay by 5 o'clock tomorrow. Is that acceptable? Okay, that's the report from BZ&E. The Finance Chair, Ted Mesiakos, can you give the report, please?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The Finance Committee met on January 29th, 2026, and reviewed the following items. Item 26-0017, resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding with the Fox Valley Music Foundation for the venue's use of Mundy Park for the calendar year of 2026.
Consent.
Consent? This item will go on consent.
And the next item, 26-0018, a resolution approving the acceptance of a donation from T-Novations in the amount of $360,000 worth of personal protective equipment for the city's use to prevent the spread of disease this winter.
Consent.
Consensus on the consent? Okay, this item will go on consent for the city council meeting.
Next item, Mayor, 26-0054, a resolution authorizing acceptance of a Link Up Illinois Double Value Match Grant for the 2026 season of the Aurora Farmers Market.
Consent.
Consent.
Consent, this item will go on consent.
And Mayor, that concludes the report for the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Chairman Masiacos. Will Chairman Franco give the PHST committee report?
Yes, thank you. The Public Health, Safety, and Transportation Committee met on January 27, 2026, and reviewed the following items. 25-0968, a resolution to accept the bid from EAN Services LLC for a one-year vehicle rental agreement with 2 one-year extensions for rental vehicles to be used by the Aurora Police Department. This is for vehicles to be used for undercover operations, and Enterprise was the lone bidder.
Consent.
Okay, this item will go on consent at the next city council meeting.
Next one is 25-1046, a resolution awarding a one-year contract effective beginning February 1st, 2026 to Oswego Animal Hospital, Bristol Veterinary Clinic, and Radiant Veterinary for veterinary services at the Aurora Animal Care and Control, with an option to renew for up to 2 additional one-year terms upon mutual agreement. For operational needs, Animal Control feels it is better to have 3 vendors as opposed to the singular vendor in the past. The 3 that were selected were the only respondents to the RFP.
Consent.
Okay, consent, this item will go on consent at the next city council meeting.
And Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, that concludes the PHST report.
Thank you, Chairman Franco. Will Chairwoman Wanda Garza give the INT committee report, please?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We met on January 26. The first item is 26-0009, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to enter into an agreement with Fair Graham to Rockford in the amount of $135,380 to complete a comprehensive site investigation at 720 North Broadway and submit the necessary reports to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, IEPA.
Consent.
Consent? Yes, Alderman
If
Franco.
somebody from the city mayor's office can come up here, I wanted to ask once this is remediated, once it's demolished, is there a plan for this site?
Alderman Brian Caputo, Chief Operating Officer. We're still studying that. We don't have something concrete to present right now.
I mean, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I didn't know if it was just wasn't put in here, but I understand it. I just didn't know if we had something in the back burner.
At this time, no.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Thanks.
You still, consent is still?
Yes, sir.
Okay, consent is,
Okay.
okay, this item will be placed on consent.
Next item is 26-0029, a resolution authorizing the acceptance of the lowest bid for Artlip and Sons, Inc. to the amount of $664,500 for the HVAC improvements in the Development Service Center with the contingency of $33,225.
Consent, this item will be placed on consent.
Next item is 26-0043, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to adopt unit price for the purchase of census water meters.
Consent, this item will be placed on consent at the next council meeting.
Okay, and conclude the meeting, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, thank you, Chairwoman Garza. Chairwoman Edward Bug, can you please give the RAP committee report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. The Rules of Administration Procedure Committee met on January 20th, 2026, to review the following items for your consideration. 25-1015, a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Pedro Rodriguez, Michael Zapeta, Oscar Ramirez Jr., Curtis Wilson, and Jose Jesus Cervantes to the Aurora Veterans Advisory Council. I'm going to have staff come forward. I got a question on this before we jump into discussion.
Hello, Nicholas Richard Thompson, Deputy Chief of Staff.
Yeah, so before we get started, possibly inadvertently, we have 5 names being moved forward in the legislation text. We only have 4 resumes. 1 is left out.
Do you know which resume is left out on your end?
Should be the same in your end.
I believe it's Mr. Cervantes, isn't it?
Because on my end, all of them are, it's Mr. Cervantes.
Mhm.
Okay. What I can do, I can send that to you all right now, or how would you like to proceed?
Is that the end of your question?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a starting point. If you can send it to us right now, we can review it quickly. I believe in some people's minds, they would need to look at it more in depth for us to take action. But yeah, if you could send it to us now, I believe some people have some general questions, and then we can take that up after people speak.
Yes, Jenny.
I would prefer it be circulated with the common redactions we do of addresses and personal information of the applicant. It might be best to put this on unfinished, and then the mayor's office can circulate that through the normal channels, and it can be presented next week on unfinished.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know what state that the document was in right now.
I just want to make sure that we're not circulating a document now that would then be available to the public because it's being discussed at a public meeting and it doesn't have the applicant's personal information redacted.
I would agree. So let's hold this here at Committee of the Whole.
No, we
Mayor
have other
Protem.
plans for this.
Did you want to finish your
Okay.
thought, Alderman Bug?
Pardon?
Did you want to finish your thought, Alderman Bug?
Yeah, to hold it so we can get the document and then we can review it in 2 weeks.
Question.
Alderman Franco.
So, when there's a concern, and there is a concern about one of the members that have put up for this, I've never seen, and I don't know how, so I guess I'm asking, how we go about, if there's 5 people, we wanted to vote for 4, how we do that? Because I think there is some concerns here, and I would be uncomfortable bringing the block together. So I want to separate. So I guess if you could help us with that.
Yep,
would be good.
that's fine. So, so you can always divide up the resolution and move to approve certain members. You can, I mean, there's 5 people. You can do 5 resolutions. You can do 2. You can do 3. However you want to divide it up. So if you want to move to place on consent, it's up to you guys how you want to do it. So if you want to move to place 4 individuals on consent and then place 1 on unfinished business, or hold 1 at RAP, or I'm sorry, we're at COW. Sorry, hold 1 at COW. That's something you guys can do. Or if you want to, advance this to unfinished and then do it at City Council, that's acceptable as well. But you can always take a motion or resolution and divide it into parts.
So right now, since we're going to put it on unfinished, is that correct? Is that what you want, Alderman Bug, unfinished?
No, I was going to hold it because we don't have the information.
Okay, well, regardless, if we go unfinished or hold it, I would propose, based on what you're saying, and not to get into the mud and disparage anybody, I would suggest we go, in this particular case, I think we go 5 separate ones. That would be my proposal, that we could vote on each person, because I just think it'll be cleaner, and I would think it'd be less disparaging of what people may have thought about certain people. So I think this is the cleanest way to do that. So I don't know if my colleagues would agree, but that would be my proposal going forward. How that figures into all this, I'm not sure.
Is this an item that should really be referred back to committee for further discussion?
I may agree with Alderman Franco, but we have to have all the documents first.
Sure.
So
Okay.
before we can't decide on 5 people with only 4 documents.
Right.
So if I can propose something, if all of you are in agreement, We can hold it at COW, so we don't have to do another RAP meeting on it, but we can hold it at COW and withdraw this resolution, put forward 5 new resolutions with each individual for, direct to COW, and with all the appropriate paperwork attached, and that way we can hear it in 2 weeks. And then you can decide for each one individually. If that's the consent, I think that's, we can proceed that way.
Alderman Nunez?
I think considering the fact that we're missing an application, we're discussing splitting up the applicants, and then there's other information that was brought to the knowledge of several aldermen that still needs to be addressed as well. I would feel more comfortable sending it back to RAP to digest it all there, and then having the work done there and then brought back to COW. So at this moment, I would make a motion to send it back to the RAP committee.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. We don't need to vote on that because 2 members can refer it back to committee. Correct?
May I ask for additional information when that comes back? Can they all come back separately?
Well, that's fine with me if that's something that.
Something the RAP committee would have to determine.
But that would be the RAP committee, so, because we're sending it back to RAP, so it would come through RAP.
Okay, this item will be referred back to the RAP committee then.
Okay, and the next item was 25-1050, a resolution authorizing the appointment of Marissa Martinez, Heather Shipman, Raymond Wunritz, and the reappointment of Lisa McClellan and Rahman Khan Vina Mohammed to the Mayor's Sustainable Aurora Advisory Board.
Consent.
Consent, this item will go on consent then.
And lastly, we had item 26-0039. We had some revised Alderman office policies that was information only.
Excuse me, sorry, again, Deputy Chief of Staff Nicholas Richard Thompson. The previous item, we had discussed with legal to remove the item, I believe, because of some technical issues. The board is different than all of our other boards and commissions, only has 7 spots, and there is going to be an amendment to the board to expand it to 9. The current makeup of the renewals and appointments go over 7, goes to 9. So we can't do that. That was supposed to be removed.
Can't do one.
Which one?
25-10.
We can't.
Sustainability.
1050
Yeah.
was supposed to be removed. The committee itself wanted to expand to 9 members, but that's not within their authority. The ordinance limits it to 7.
So
Okay.
You're going to pull this item?
Are we tabling it then?
Yes.
So can the, I guess what I would ask then is that this item be tabled either to the next COW or referred back to RAP so it can be addressed there.
May I ask a question?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
Alderwoman Smith.
At what time and point did we discover this problem? Because it went through RAP and it made it here. So at what time and point did we discover that we had this issue?
Yes. Yesterday, I spoke with legal about it when I called it.
And then it probably should have been pulled off before today? I'm just talking about process-wise.
Correct, yeah. There was conversations had, and it was supposed to be, I think, part of the script, but I don't know if the script wasn't updated, but
No.
the conversation was
If
had.
I may.
Yeah.
Changing the agenda after it's already been posted to remove something the day before the meeting is something that we generally wouldn't do. I did have conversation with Mr. Richard Thompson today, and I believe, were you able to contact the city councilmen? I think you were going to talk to Alderman Bug and Alderman Seville about.
I talked to Alderman Seville.
Okay,
Yes.
about
Not
removing
Mayor
it,
Pro Tem,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So, yeah, I apologize if I didn't take the correct steps in that regard.
Yeah, we just needed a motion to that effect. The council.
That was my understanding. What the procedure that legal went forward with was just to make a motion for it.
Okay, so is there a motion?
Motion to
then?
hold it or motion to remove it, or what motion are you?
Motion to hold it.
All right, I motion to hold this.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to hold this.
and it goes back to RAP, and then they'll figure it out from there.
Okay, so that's
No,
a
it's
different motion.
No, that's a different motion.
So do you want to hold, so you can either hold it here or send it back to RAP?
You made a motion to hold it.
I made a motion to hold it,
Okay, that's fine.
and it was seconded.
I was second, I seconded.
It was, so,
Okay.
so.
I can withdraw my motion if it makes more sense to those who have to correct this.
Either is fine. I don't know that it
Which would you
matters.
prefer, Nick?
I'm fine sending it back to RAP or holding it here. I really would defer to legal. Our goal, just to give you further context, is we're going to make an amendment so that they can expand the board to 9 and then revisit this. And I think it would be more appropriate to do that first before
It doesn't matter.
we appoint all these members. That's the only thing.
I think we should go back to RAP, give more time that way.
That works. 100%.
Alderman Bug, is that acceptable to you?
Certainly, but I do have a question. So the way it stands now, I understand what you're looking to do. So these, I didn't count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So these 5 people, if they went through, it would make more than 7.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I entertain the motion to send it back to RAP.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded then to send this back to RAP. Thank you.
Thank you.
And as I said before, we did some information only, discussion of the revised Alderman office policies. No action needed here. That concludes the report.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it. Okay. We have a need of closed session pursuant to the section of the Open Meetings Act, Section 2C11, to discuss pending litigation. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Garza. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have to call the roll. Please call the roll, clerk.
Ferrero?
Yes.
Garza?
Yes.
Masiacos?
Yes.
Nunez?
Yes.
Franco?
Yes.
Seville?
Yes.
Benuelos?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Bug?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
11 yes, 0 no.
Okay, motion carries. Any other business to come before the committee of the whole? Not a motion for adjournment is in order.
So we want to adjourn to the.
Oh, so we have to reconvene out of close.
It'll be just it'll be a quick closed session, but we'll adjourn. You
Okay.
can let the public know that there's no other business after the closed session.
Okay. All right, that ends the official city council meeting. We will be going to executive session, so we'll begin in about, what, 7 minutes? 5 to 7 minutes. Depending how quickly you are.